The Xylos Empire had never lost a war. They had conquered 300 worlds. They had defeated species with sharper teeth, stronger armor, and bigger armies. They did not win because they were stronger. They won because they were scarier. Their ships were black and sharp. Their soldiers wore masks that looked like screaming faces. Their emperor spoke in a voice that made planets tremble. Emperor Xaxos the Undying was very good at being scary. He was tall, even for a Xylos. His scales were dark purple, almost black. His eyes were yellow and had no pupils. His voice was deep and slow, like rocks grinding together. He had 15 titles. He listed them every time he spoke. He liked the way they sounded. His favorite title was Lord of the Silent Void. He did not know what it meant. His advisors had made it up. But it sounded impressive. That was all that mattered. Xaxos looked at the star map. A small blue dot at the edge of the galaxy. Earth. The humans. He had heard rumors about them. Strange creatures. Emotional. Unpredictable. But weak. No space empire. No advanced weapons. No psychic powers. They should be easy. Send the broadcast, Xaxos said. Every screen. Every device. I want them to see me. I want them to fear me. His advisors obeyed. The broadcast went out. Every screen on Earth flickered. Then the Emperor appeared. He stood in front of a black wall. His ceremonial armor was gold and red. It had spikes on the shoulders. It had a cape. The cape was very long. It took 3 servants to carry it. On his head was a hat. The hat was taller than his head. Much taller. It looked like a black tower with a red jewel on top. Xaxos began to speak. I am Xaxos the Undying, he said. His voice boomed. Lord of the Silent Void. Breaker of worlds. Master of the Eastern Reaches. High Commander of the Xylos fleet. Protector of the Sacred Throne. Vanquisher of the Grieg Horde. Conqueror of the 12 systems. Scourge of the Outer Rim. Keeper of the Eternal Flame. Father of the Legion. Voice of the Empire. The Unstoppable. The Unbroken. The Undying. He took a breath. He was only halfway through. I have conquered 300 worlds. I have destroyed species older than your sun. I have turned planets to ash. And now I have come for you. He leaned closer to the camera. His yellow eyes filled the screen. You are small. You are weak. You are nothing. Kneel before the Xylos Empire, and you will be spared. Resist, and you will be erased from the stars. The broadcast ended. On Earth, there was silence. 5 seconds of silence. People stared at their screens. They looked at each other. They did not know what to say. Then someone in a crowded city square laughed. It was a young woman. Her name was Maya. She was eating a sandwich. She had been watching the broadcast on a large screen above the square. When the Emperor finished, she looked at the people around her. Then she looked back at the screen. Then she laughed. It was not a mean laugh. It was not a scared laugh. It was a real laugh. The kind of laugh that comes from genuine surprise. Did you see his hat? Maya said to the person next to her. It was bigger than his head. Much bigger. How does he walk through doors? The person next to her laughed too. Then the person next to them. Then the person next to them. Within 1 minute, the whole square was laughing. Within 10 minutes, the whole city. Within an hour, the whole planet. People laughed at the Emperor's hat. They laughed at his cape. They laughed at his 15 titles. They laughed at the way he said Lord of the Silent Void, like it meant something. They laughed because they could not help it. The speech was so dramatic, so serious, so ridiculous. A video of the broadcast spread across Earth. People edited it. They put funny music behind it. They added cartoon sound effects. One person replaced the Emperor's voice with a squeaky toy. Another slowed it down so he sounded like a dying whale. The videos got millions of views. People watched them while eating dinner, while riding the bus, while lying in bed. No one was afraid. No one was angry. Everyone was laughing. On the Xylos flagship, the advisors recorded the human reaction. They gathered the audio. The sound of millions of humans laughing. They played it for Emperor Xaxos. The Emperor sat on his throne. His hat was on a stand next to him. His cape was folded behind him. He listened to the laughter. His yellow eyes narrowed. His claws gripped the armrests. What is that sound? He asked. That is laughter, my lord, said his lead advisor. The humans are laughing. At what? At you, my lord. At your speech. At your hat. Xaxos looked at his hat. It was a fine hat. It had taken 3 months to make. It had a jewel from a dead planet. It was taller than any hat in the Empire. "They are laughing at my hat," Zaxos said slowly. "Yes, my lord." The Emperor did not speak for a long time. His face did not change. His eyes did not blink. But inside, something was happening. Something that had never happened before. Emperor Zaxos the Undying, Lord of the Silent Void, Breaker of Worlds, was embarrassed. He did not laugh. He did not know how. He had never needed to. But for the first time in his life, he wished he did. Because if he could laugh, he could pretend he did not care. But he could not. And he did. "Send another message," Zaxos said quietly. "Demand an apology." "Yes, my lord." "And someone get this hat out of my sight." The advisors took the hat. Zaxos sat alone on his throne. Somewhere on a small blue planet, a young woman named Maya finished her sandwich and watched another cat video. The war had not started yet, but the humans had already won the first battle. They did not even know it. Emperor Zaxos had been angry before. He had been angry at the Grieg horde for stealing his favorite ship. He had been angry at the 12 systems for refusing to bow. He had been angry at his own cooks for serving cold meat. But he had never been angry like this. This was not the anger of a warrior. This was the anger of a clown who had been told his nose was too big. No one had ever laughed at him. His own subjects bowed when he entered a room. His enemies trembled when they heard his name. The 300 worlds he had conquered did not laugh. They wept. They begged. They died. But they did not laugh. Then came the humans. Zaxos had watched the recordings. He had seen the city square. He had heard the laughter. He had also heard the things the humans said about him. His spies had gathered every word. Did he say Lord of the Silent Void? That sounds like a bad band name. His hat is bigger than his head. Is that a fashion choice or a medical condition? He has 15 titles. I have a goldfish with 3. We are not the same. His voice sounds like a rock trying to sing opera. I am not scared. I am concerned for his throat. Zaxos read each comment. Then he read them again. Then he threw his data pad against the wall. It broke into 17 pieces. "They called my hat big," he said to his advisor. "They made fun of my voice. They compared me to a goldfish." "What is a goldfish?" His advisor checked its notes. "A small orange fish, my lord. Humans keep them in bowls. They have very short memories. They compared me to a fish with no memory." "Yes, my lord." Zaxos stood up. He walked to the window. He looked at the stars. Somewhere out there, a small blue planet was full of humans who thought he was funny. "Send a warship," he said. "One ship. Not to attack. To demand an apology." "Yes, my lord." "What should the ship say?" "Tell them to apologize for the laughter. For the comments. For the goldfish. I want them to say they are sorry. And I want them to mean it." The warship left that same day. It was a small ship by Xylo's standards. But it was still bigger than anything the humans had. It arrived at Earth in 3 days. It hung in the sky above a large city. The commander opened a channel. "People of Earth," the commander said, "you will apologize to Emperor Zaxos the Undying for your disrespect. You laughed at his speech. You made fun of his hat. You compared him to a fish. This is unacceptable. You have 24 hours to send a formal apology." There was silence. Then a human voice came back. It was a woman. She sounded calm. Friendly. Almost kind. "Tell him his speech was very nice," the woman said. "Very dramatic. Very cute." The word cute hit the Xylo's translator like a stone through glass. The machine beeped. It clicked. It whirred. Then it stopped working. There was no word for cute in the Xylo's language. The concept did not exist. The translator had tried its best. It had failed. The commander looked at its broken translator. It looked at its crew. It looked back at the screen showing the blue planet below. "What does cute mean?" the commander asked. No one knew. The commander decided to pretend it had not heard. "You have 23 hours and 59 minutes remaining," it said. Then it closed the channel. The message reached Zaxos an hour later. His advisor played the recording. The human woman's voice filled the throne room. Very dramatic. Very cute. Zaxos did not know what cute meant either. But he knew the tone. It was not respect. It was not fear. It was something worse. It was affection. The humans thought he was adorable. He threw his scepter at the wall. It joined the data pad. "Send another message," he said. "This time, no words. Send the planet killer video. Show them what happens to those who mock the Xylos Empire." The video went out. It showed the Xylos Empire's largest weapon. A massive cannon that could destroy a planet. The video showed it firing. It showed a world breaking apart. It showed oceans boiling and mountains crumbling. The message at the end was simple. Apologize, or we will demonstrate this on your moon. The humans watched the video. They watched the planet die. They watched the oceans boil. Then they sent their response. It was a video of a human child. A small girl, maybe 5 years old. She was holding a toy. The toy was shaped like a sword. It glowed blue. The girl waved it at the camera and made a sound. Vroom, vroom, pew, pew. Then the girl smiled. The video ended. The caption read, "Ooh, scary. We have one too." Xaxos watched the video 17 times. He watched the child wave her toy sword. He watched her smile. He watched her say pew pew. Then he stood up. He walked to the corner of the room. He picked up his ceremonial hat. He looked at it. It was big. It was very big. It was bigger than his head. He threw the hat across the room. It hit the wall. The jewel fell off. The hat rolled under a table. Xaxos sat down on his throne. He put his head in his hands. He had conquered 300 worlds. He had destroyed species older than the human sun. He had a planet-killer cannon. And he had been defeated by a child with a toy. "What is wrong with them?" he asked his advisor. The advisor had no answer. Outside the window, the stars were quiet. Somewhere on a small blue planet, a 5-year-old girl put down her toy sword and asked her mother for a sandwich. The war had not started, but it was already over. Emperor Xaxos sat on his throne. His hat was still under the table. He had not asked for it back. He was not sure he ever wanted to see it again. "We cannot fight them," he said to his advisors. "Not because we are weak. Because we do not understand them. They laugh at our weapons. They compare us to fish. Their children mock us with toys. What is their weakness?" The advisors looked at each other. They did not know. No one had ever asked about human weakness before. No one had ever needed to. "We should send a delegation," said the lead advisor. "Study them. Learn about them. Find what they fear. Every species fears something." Xaxos nodded. "Send 3. A military strategist. A cultural analyst. A psychologist. I want to know everything about these creatures. Why they laugh. Why they mock. Why they are not afraid." The 3 diplomats were chosen. Their names were Vex, military strategist, Tor, cultural analyst, and Kex, psychologist. They wore their best formal dress. They polished their scales. They practiced their stern faces. Then they boarded a small ship and went to Earth. The humans met them at a small building. No armies. No weapons. No crowds. Just a woman standing at the door. She was smiling. "Welcome," she said. "I am Dr. Lena Park. I am a cultural anthropologist. That means I study species like yours. Please come in." Vex, Tor, and Kex followed her inside. The building was quiet. The walls were white. The floors were clean. They walked down a hallway and entered a small room. There was a table. There were chairs. There were no guards. No soldiers. No signs of fear. "Sit, please," Dr. Park said. The Xylos Saturday. The chairs were too small for them. Their knees touched the table. Their tails hung over the edges. But they Saturday. Dr. Park sat across from them. She was still smiling. It was a warm smile. Not a mocking smile. The Xylos did not know what to do with warmth. "Would you like some tea?" Dr. Park asked. The Xylos looked at each other. "What is tea?" asked Vex. Dr. Park pointed to a small pot on the table. "It is hot water, with leaves in it. We drink it for pleasure." The Xylos were confused. Drinking was for hydration. You drank when you were thirsty. You drank water. Cold water. Clean water. You did not drink hot water with leaves in it. And you certainly did not drink for pleasure. "You drink for pleasure?" asked Tor. "Yes. Would you like to try?" "No," said Vex, Tor, and Kex at the same time. Dr. Park poured herself a cup. She took a small sip. She smiled. The Xylos watched her. They did not understand. But they wrote notes. Kex was the psychologist. It was its job to ask the hard questions. It took out a small recorder. "Dr. Park," Kex said. "Why did the humans laugh at Emperor Xaxos?" Dr. Park put down her cup. She thought for a moment. Her face was serious now. Not sad. Just thoughtful. "Because he was trying so hard to be scary," she said. "It was like watching a small dog back at a big truck. We were not afraid. We were charmed. Kex wrote this down. Charmed, it repeated. That is not a word we use often. What is a dog? Dr. Park smiled again. She took out her small communication device. She tapped the screen. Then she turned it around. The screen showed a picture. It was a small animal. Fluffy. 4 legs. A wet nose. Big eyes. It was sitting on a piece of furniture. It looked soft. It looked friendly. It looked nothing like a predator. That is a dog, Dr. Park said. The Xylos stared at the picture. Vex leaned closer. Tor tilted its head. Kex's mouth opened slightly. You keep predators in your home? Kex asked. Dr. Park laughed. It was a soft laugh. Not mean. They are not predators. Not anymore. They are friends. They have been our friends for thousands of years. Some of them wear sweaters. Kex's pen stopped moving. Sweaters, it said. Clothes. For the animal. Yes. Little knitted sweaters. To keep them warm. Some have boots too. Kex put down its pen. It looked at the picture again. The fluffy animal. The wet nose. The big eyes. It tried to imagine this creature as a predator. It could not. It tried to imagine it wearing a sweater. It could. Easily. You took a wild predator, Kex said slowly, and you made it your friend. And now it wears clothes. Yes. We also have cats. They are smaller. Some of them wear hats. Kex stopped taking notes. It just sat there. Its hands were in its lap. Its eyes were empty. Its mind had gone somewhere far away. Somewhere safe. Somewhere without humans and their hot leaf water and their clothed predators. Vex looked at Kex. Are you all right? No, Kex said. I am not all right. I am broken. The humans have broken me. And I have not even seen the cat in a hat yet. Dr. Park laughed again. Would you like to see the cat in a hat? No, Kex whispered. I would like to go back to the ship and lie down. Tor, the cultural analyst, had been quiet. It was taking notes very fast. Its pen moved like a machine. It had written, humans drink for pleasure. Humans befriend predators. Humans put clothes on animals. Humans are not afraid of emperors. Humans laugh at hats. Conclusion, humans are not weak. Humans are something else. I do not know the word for it. But I am afraid of it. Tor looked up at Dr. Park. Do you have any other predators in your home? We have birds, Dr. Park said. Some of them talk. Tor's pen stopped. The birds speak. They repeat words. They do not understand them. But yes, they speak. Tor put down its pen. It looked at Kex. Kex was staring at the ceiling. It looked like it was praying to a god it had never believed in. This was a mistake, Tor said. Coming here was a mistake. Dr. Park poured herself more tea. She took a sip. She smiled. Would you like to see the bird? She asked. No, said all 3 Xylos at once. And for the first time in the history of the Xylos Empire, 3 diplomats sat in silence. Not because they had nothing to say. Because they had no words for what they had seen. Somewhere in another room, a small fluffy dog in a blue sweater backed at a toy. No one heard it. But if they had, they might have laughed. And that would have broken the Xylos completely. The 3 diplomats returned to the Xylos flagship. They did not speak during the journey. They sat in silence. Vex stared at the wall. Tor stared at its notes. Kex stared at nothing at all. Emperor Xaxos waited for them in the throne room. His hat was still under the table. He had not replaced it. He was not sure he ever would. Report, Xaxos said. The diplomats looked at each other. No one wanted to speak first. Finally, Vex stepped forward. My lord, Vex said. The humans cannot be intimidated. Xaxos's yellow eyes narrowed. Every species can be intimidated. Not this one, my lord. We tried. We watched them. We studied them. They respond to threats with humor. They respond to anger with kindness. They respond to fear with laughter. This is not weakness. This is a defense mechanism. It makes them immune to psychological warfare. Xaxos was quiet. He thought about the laughter. The city square. The woman who called him cute. The child with the toy sword. You are telling me, he said slowly, that nothing I do will make them afraid. That is correct, my lord. Nothing. Nothing, my lord. We showed them our military power. They laughed. We showed them our technology. They were not impressed. We showed them our culture. They asked if we had any videos of animals falling off furniture. Xaxos stood up. He walked to the window. He looked at the stars. Then we will try a different tactic, he said. We will not threaten them. We will impress them. We will show them our greatness, our achievements, our magnificent empire. They will see what we have built, and they will want to be part of it. The advisors worked quickly. They gathered the best videos. Massive space stations orbiting beautiful worlds. Cities made of crystal and light. Advanced technology that could heal any wound. Ships that could cross the galaxy in days. They put it all together. A masterpiece of propaganda. A celebration of Xylo's power and glory. The message went out. Every screen on Earth flickered. Then the video began. See our greatness, the voice said. See the space stations of the Xylo's empire. See our cities. See our technology. Join us willingly. Become part of something magnificent. The video showed a space station the size of a moon. It showed a city made of towers that touched the clouds. It showed a hospital where broken bones were healed in seconds. It showed a ship that turned sunlight into fuel. The video ended. The message was clear. The Xylo's empire was not just powerful. It was beautiful. It was advanced. It was worth joining. Earth was silent for 10 seconds. Then the response came. It was a video of a cat. The cat was orange. It was sitting on a couch. The couch was made of soft fabric. The cat looked comfortable. Then the cat saw something. A bug. A small flying bug. The cat reached out a paw. The bug flew away. The cat reached further. The cat lost its balance. The cat fell off the couch. The cat landed on the floor. It looked confused. It looked around. It did not know what had happened. Then it got up and walked away like nothing had happened. The video ended. The caption read, "We have these. They are called cats. They are better than your empire." Xaxos watched the video. He watched the cat fall. He watched it land. He watched it walk away. He did not understand. "What is this?" he asked his advisor. "It is a cat, my lord. A small predator. Humans keep them in their homes." "Why did it fall?" "It was chasing a bug, my lord." "Why is that funny?" The advisor had no answer. It did not know why the cat was funny. It did not know why the humans had sent the video. It did not know anything anymore. Xaxos watched the video again. The cat fell. The cat looked confused. The cat walked away. Again. The cat fell. The cat looked confused. The cat walked away. Again. Fall. Confused. Walk. Again. 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 17 times. Xaxos watched the cat fall 17 times. Each time, he hoped to understand. Each time, he failed. He turned to his advisor. His face was not angry anymore. It was tired. It was confused. It was something new. Something the Xylos had never seen on their emperor's face. Defeat. What do they want? Xaxos asked. The advisor checked its notes. It had been keeping careful records. Everything the humans said. Everything they did. Everything they sent. They want us to laugh with them, my lord. Xaxos stared at the advisor. Laugh with them. Yes, my lord. They do not want our fear. They do not want our submission. They do not want our empire. They want us to find the cat funny. Xaxos looked at the screen. The cat was frozen mid-fall. Its eyes were wide. Its paws were in the air. It looked ridiculous. He tried to laugh. The sound that came out was not a laugh. It was a cough. A dry, painful cough. It sounded like rocks grinding together. It sounded like a machine breaking. He tried again. This time, it was worse. A high-pitched wheeze. A dying engine. A creature in pain. The advisor covered its ears. The guards at the door looked away. Even the walls seemed to flinch. Xaxos stopped trying. He sat down on his throne. He put his head in his hands. I cannot laugh, he said. I do not know how. The advisor lowered its hands. No, my lord. You do not. And without laughter, I cannot understand them. That is correct, my lord. Xaxos looked at the frozen cat on the screen. He looked at its wide eyes. Its paws in the air. Its ridiculous falling pose. For a moment, something moved inside him. Something small. Something new. It was not laughter. It was not even a smile. But it was something. He did not know what to call it. But it was the first step. Somewhere on Earth, the orange cat had climbed back onto the couch. It was watching the bug again. It was getting ready to fall again. And somewhere on a Xylos flagship, an emperor sat in silence, trying to understand why that was funny. He did not yet. But he was trying. And that was more than any Xylos had ever done before. The message came from Earth. It was not a threat. It was not a surrender. It was an invitation. To Emperor Zaxos the Undying, the message read, "Come to Earth. Bring your advisors. Bring your diplomats. Bring anyone you like. We will show you our food, our music, our stupid cat videos. And if you still want to conquer us after that, we can talk. But bring a sense of humor. You will need it." Zaxos read the message 3 times. He looked at his advisors. They looked back at him. No one spoke. "This is a trap," said one advisor. "They want to poison us," said another. "They want to make us watch more cat videos," said Kex, the psychologist. It was still not recovered from its last visit. Zaxos looked at the frozen cat on his screen. The orange one. Mid-fall. Wide eyes. Paws in the air. He had watched it so many times. He still did not understand why it was funny. But he could not stop watching. "I will go," Zaxos said. The advisors protested. They begged. They pleaded. They threw themselves on the floor. Zaxos ignored them. He had conquered 300 worlds. He had destroyed species older than human civilization. He had a planet-killer cannon. He was not afraid of a sandwich. He left the hat behind. The small diplomatic vessel landed on Earth in a field outside a large city. Zaxos stepped out. He wore his ceremonial armor. Gold and red. Spikes on the shoulders. The long cape. But no hat. His head looked strange without it. Smaller. Almost normal. Dr. Lena Park was waiting for him. She was smiling. Behind her was a crowd of humans. Hundreds of them. They did not bow. They did not kneel. They waved. They smiled. Some of them held up their communication devices. They were taking pictures. Of him. A human child ran up to him. The child was small. Maybe 4 years old. It looked at Zaxos with wide eyes. Then it looked at his cape. Then it reached out and touched the fabric. "Soft," the child said. Zaxos did not know what to say. No one had ever touched his cape before. No one had ever called it soft. "Thank you," he said. The child smiled and ran back to its mother. Dr. Park stepped forward. She was holding a small cup. Steam rose from it. "Tea," she said. "Hot leaf water. I promise it will not hurt you." Zaxos took the cup. He looked at the liquid inside. It was brown. It smelled like plants. He had never drunk anything hot before. Xylos drank cold water. Cold and clean. That was all. He put the cup to his mouth. He took a small sip. It was hot. It was strange. It tasted like earth and sunshine and something else. Something he could not name. It was not terrible. He took another sip. Then another. Dr. Park watched him. She was still smiling. "You are drinking for pleasure," she said. Zaxos looked at the cup. "I think I am." He finished the tea. Then he followed Dr. Park into the city. The city square was full of humans. Thousands of them. They lined the streets. They stood on balconies. They leaned out of windows. They were not afraid. They were not angry. They were curious. Zaxos walked to the center of the square. He stood on a small platform. He looked at the humans. They looked at him. He opened his mouth to give a speech. He had prepared a speech. It was a good speech. It had 15 titles. It had dramatic pauses. It had a strong ending. He had practiced it on the ship. He opened his mouth. The first word was ready. Then he stopped. He remembered the laughter. The city square on Earth, but different. The humans laughing at his hat. At his voice. At his 15 titles. He remembered the cat. Falling off the couch. Looking confused. Walking away. He remembered the tea. Hot leaf water. Drinking for pleasure. He remembered the child. Touching his cape. Calling it soft. He closed his mouth. The humans waited. They did not laugh. They did not mock. They just waited. Zaxos looked at Dr. Park. She nodded. Not giving an order. Just encouraging. He turned back to the crowd. He did not give the speech. He did not list his titles. He did not mention the silent void or the breaker of worlds or any of it. He did something he had never done before. He smiled. It was a small smile. Awkward. Unpracticed. His mouth was not made for smiling. His teeth were too sharp. His lips were too thin. But it was a smile. Real. Honest. Strange. The humans saw it. Some of them smiled back. Then a child in the front row pointed at him. A small girl with pigtails. She giggled. Zaxos did not get angry. He did not feel embarrassed. He felt something else. Something new. Something that might have been warmth. He looked at the child. He looked at the crowd. He said the first thing that came into his head. I do not understand you. But I am tired of fighting you. Can we just eat something? The crowd was silent for 1 second. Then they cheered. Hundreds of humans shouting and clapping and laughing. Not mean laughter. Happy laughter. Relieved laughter. Someone ran up to him. A young man. He was holding something in his hands. A sandwich. Bread and meat and cheese and lettuce and tomato and a red sauce that smelled spicy. Try this, the man said. Zaxos took the sandwich. He looked at it. Meat and plants together. In bread. With sauce. His stomach had never seen such a thing. His brain had no category for it. He took a bite. The bread was soft. The meat was salty. The cheese was creamy. The lettuce was crisp. The tomato was sweet. The sauce was hot. So many flavors. So many textures. All at once. Chaos in his mouth. It was wonderful. He took another bite. Then another. He ate the whole sandwich. The humans watched him. They were not horrified. They were delighted. Good? Asked the young man. Zaxos nodded. His mouth was full. He could not speak. He did not need to. His face said everything. Dr. Park walked up to him. She was holding another cup of tea. Welcome to Earth, she said. Would you like to see more cat videos? Zaxos looked at her. He looked at the crowd. He looked at the empty wrapper where the sandwich had been. Yes, he said. I think I would. And so the galaxy learned that the most powerful weapon in the universe was not a planet killer. It was a species that looked at an emperor, laughed at his hat, and offered him a sandwich. The war ended. The friendship was just beginning.